Welcome back to another video. Today as always is going to be a special video that we're going to be making, but because we're going to be thanking and congratulating Markiplier on his new movie Iron Lung, which honestly it came a bit out of left field for him to make, but nonetheless, he dedicated his heart to this movie, and which was really good. It was a passion project in which he himself took on. So that being said, let's get into the video and just talk about how amazing this movie is. I honestly never expected that Markiplier was going to be making a movie. I mean, I've been watching him for years on YouTube, and on and off. Only watch him per chance if I happen to like the video game he's playing, then I'm gonna watch it. I know back in 2020, 2019, he decided to make the shift into scary video games, but back then he was more on just like, let's play these stupid games and we're going to get rage baited. We're going to, just pop our head off, throw fucking chairs and scare Chica. But no. In this particular game in which he made a movie about Iron Lung, came out 3 years ago, I was genuinely surprised because if there was one scary movie he was going to appear in, it would have been Five Nights at Freddy's because, he fucking blew up the game. But there's hope for that. We're gonna talk about that later. But there's hope for that. But it's just weird, He only made, like, looking back on it, because I watched when he made Iron Lung, and I was actually like, hey, this is a pretty good game. It's just a whatever indie game. I don't know what there wasn't much to think about just because, it looked 2D, it looked low quality, but someone decided to make it and it had good story. And watching it back compared to when I first watched it 3 years ago, I was like, okay, there's a lot of fucking context, there's a lot of lore to it, like there's some good shit, right? And now it can be just a sec. Sorry, okay, just had to make sure that my phone was not getting dented into. For foldable phone users, you will understand, even just hurting your phone with fingernails, it leaves a really bad scratch. Anyways, we were talking about Markiplier. Yeah, I didn't expect him to make a movie out of this game, but it honestly, it was pretty good. I mean, it got a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, about 90% on audience score. Me personally, I actually had my doubts already about like this movie itself. I was like, it's about a man in a submarine, and there's a giant piranha trying to kill him. That's essentially what I was telling a bunch of the common folk, the public, what about this movie was going to be about, like my friends and everything. Just because, it's already been said, even by Penguin Zero, it was like, this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. This is not going to be a movie that everyone will enjoy, just because of the context and just so much to it. And then, because of Markiplier himself, like, weirdly enough, we didn't see that many hints to Markiplier and his channel itself, in the movie. But it's like, there was a bit of context as to like, how Markiplier is as a person, like, his characteristics when he gets mad and passionate and happy and all these other things. Like, I was able to see a lot of Markiplier from those past YouTube videos that I used to watch a lot of him into this movie, but in the way where like, it's just behavior. It's not really just like, oh, Easter egg reference, huh? Like, no, it's not that type of shit. Which I was kind of hoping for, like, there was a lot of fun to be made on this game itself because there was, cheats and mods to the game, but that's besides the point. It was just surprising. It was surprising to see that off of one video game that he just happened to play for 40 minutes, he got passionate enough to say, fuck it, I'm going to make a video game out of this movie self-independently with a budget of, that has been reported just recently, of $3 million, which, that's not a lot to make a movie. A fucking Avengers Endgame, I know that's going to be in the billions, but like, for Markiplier, him only being the only character per se in the movie, $3 million, and then profiting a $17 million off it, like, off the box office is fucking insane for a passion project in which has no studio attached to it, such as A24 or anything else. Like, as I'm making this video today, Markiplier actually made a joke. It's like, hey, I'm a professional guy, and off of Markiplier Studios, we're gonna treat everything professionally. And I was just like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, there's no Markiplier Studios. I mean, if there really has to be one, like, off credentials and off just have to like, comply with the movie guild association and whatever. Okay, that makes sense, but it's like, it's crazy and funny to think about Markiplier as a YouTuber. This 23, I think he was 23 when he dropped out of college. 23-year-old man from like 15 years ago decided to finally bite the bullet and make a movie and dedicate millions of dollars to it, to just realize like, holy shit, like I did it. And all these streams he's been doing on YouTube, just showing and crying and giving all these updates to Iron Lung and how it's performing in the box office, like, and even before then too, like he would give us live streams about saying like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I can't show you guys a trailer, but it's like, it's been such a painstakingly hard objective that I've been working on for these past couple of months, years. Like, it took him 3 years to make this movie. And he cries, he feels emotional, he gets ecstatic about just the fact that he dedicated so much fucking effort to this movie. And you see it, just because if you're an avid Markiplier watcher that, you keep up to dates on like what's going on, you get to see just like how fucking tired he was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And like, even when Valkyrie, which is also in Markiplier's movie, even when Valkyrie like invited him on into her podcast, we were all just in excitement and like in awe as to where like, holy shit, Markiplier is actually making a movie. He has a trailer. He's showing it to the public now, or to people that are close to him, like not to the public, but people that are just from the public, but that are known or associated to Markiplier. Like that's crazy. And those are the breadcrumbs that we had back then, a year or two ago, when we were just like, is our YouTube hero really about to make a movie that's going to come out to AMC, Fandango, like Regal Theaters, like all these other big hits companies, like it's crazy to think that Mark really did that. And it was so sweet to see on one of his live streams. He was going from town to town, just saying like, holy shit, like especially his hometown too, like my movie, sorry, there was a fly. My movie made it in my hometown, and like people are actually going to go watch it. Movie tickets are sold out, seats are taken, like all that type of shit. Funny enough, from where I'm from, LA basically. Oh yeah, I'm basically from LA, but I guess in the not so known areas like Wilmington, San Pedro, Carson, Long Beach, like these are like relatively known areas, but like I didn't see that many sold out tickets for Markiplier. But I know in Hollywood, or even in the China Theater, like I know, yeah, that for sure that got packed months ago. But it's just crazy. Like, even though I didn't really even see the hype publicly about Iron Lung itself, I literally just came from watching Iron Lung 2. It's just nice to know that there's a bunch of other people such as myself watching Iron Lung, supporting Markiplier, and making a man's dreams come true. And as this motherfucker always says, Mark always says, I can't wait to do it all over again. And like, that's fucking crazy. Because, I could tell like he really fucking suffered a lot making this movie. You could just tell, like, the documentary itself hasn't come out yet. He hasn't shown us like his whole experience in making this movie, but you can just tell like it was painful for him in the process to just make this movie. And it's just beautiful to see it come to fruition. On the video I made fucking 3 years ago talking about Markiplier, before like Iron Lung even came into existence, I was just like, that's the thing I just love about Markiplier, though. He creates and he believes. And I know there's a Latin saying to that, a credo something. I know I'm botching it up. Excuse me. It's in Latin though, but Markiplier simply had a thought in his head. He had climbed many mountains and decided, hey, I need another mountain to climb. Let's do it. And that's just fucking crazy, By the way, I'm going to try to keep this video short. I want to keep it under 10 minutes because I know our attention spans are not that good. But either way, I just wanted to say congratulations, Mark. Seriously, like, you've been a hero to me, and this inspires me to even go out and want to do something myself. Like, I never thought you were going to make a video. I mean, I never thought you were going to make a movie, but here you are. I might want to make a video, movie or a series or something, but like, I know I must start from humble beginnings, such as yourself. But truly, you are an inspiration to at least me, and I know to many others as well. So that being said, congrats, reap the rewards. You deserve it, and just thank you so much for being an inspiration. Till next time.